So today is Rosh Chodesh Cheshvan. It's a Scorpio new moon and also a partial solar eclipse. So we've just come from Tishrei, the month that is packed with Jewish festivals, the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, the holiest day, into Sukkot, the time of our joy, and we've just been in this process of purification and cleansing and atonement and prayer and receiving so much light. And we say in Tishrei, like, we wish you a sweet new year. And now we're making this transition into Cheshvan, and Cheshvan is also called Mar Cheshvan, which is bitter. Mar in Hebrew means bitter. So I was at a women's gathering last night, and we were talking about Mar and what that is, and we were eating chocolate, and someone pointed out that the chocolate is bitter. And the discussion around bitterness being just another one of those tastes that we have. Like we have a taste for salt or sweet or spicy, that we have bitter, and that it's actually something that you can appreciate and enjoy more as you get older and as you mature. And then we started singing Bittersweet Symphony. Do, 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 do. And it really is this bittersweet symphony from Tishrei into Cheshvan. So the letter that's associated with this month is Nun, and Nun is written two ways. You've got it written this way, so it's like bent over, and you've got it written straight. And when it's written like this, it's in the middle of a word, and when it's written like this, it's at the end of a word. So Nun, like once we've been on this high, like there is the inevitable fall, nofel. In Hebrew, nofel, fall, which is like from being so high, like there is going to be this coming down. And this falling to our knees, which is like that nun that is like bent over, right? And then it also, that metamorphosis that happens from the nun being bent over to the nun being straight. And that's the word also in Hebrew, like, which is chen, with the nun written like this, is grace. And that's like this metamorphosis process, which is also like the snake. And that's one of the animals or symbols associated with this month. And it's also kind of like that nun, that like curvy and then also being straight. And it reminds me of the story of Moshe, when he meets God at the burning bush, and he's given his staff. And when he goes back to Egypt, to Pharaoh, to ask him to let his people go, there's a story of his staff then turning into a snake. So Pharaoh brings his magicians, who also turn their staffs into snakes. But Moshe's snake eats all the other snakes. And something really beautiful and powerful in this is that there is nothing more powerful than being connected to reality. There is no magic trick, and there is no magician or timing or divination practice and ceremony that one can do that is more powerful than being connected to reality, than being connected to Hashem. Hashem is the name, the divine name of everything that was, is, and will be, ultimate reality. And the tribe that's associated with this month is Menashe. And Menashe was Joseph's firstborn child. And when he was born, Joseph said that he has now forgotten all of his hardships and also his father's house. And so he gave his firstborn the name Menashe. Like, wow. This forgetting of his hardship, and also this forgetting of his house, his father's house. Like what is that? Like this deep deconditioning, or this forgetting in terms of like forgiveness. And what's really interesting is that Menashe, this is the name in Hebrew, is Moshe, Moses, with a nun. Menashe. It's the phoenix rising from the ashes. This deep dive. We're reading this week in the Torah portion about Noah and Noah's Ark, and it said that the flood begins in this month. And it's really interesting because Scorpio season is a water sign, and it's like the intensity, like Scorpio is like intense water. Like if the other water signs are water, then like Scorpio is like the waterfall. That's what I heard an astrologer once say. and it's like that flooding, and a time for that deep diving. Thinking of like the world being created and then destroyed, and something new then coming from that. Like as I'm making this video, now look, my eyes just like cast downwards and pick up this word that's written on a bag that says rising. Phoenix rising. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you have a blessed month ahead, and I look forward to catching up soon.